We're not done yet.
You gonna cut your hand off?
I ain't. I know where the blade is. The blade's the shiny part.
Oh, you keep thinking that.
The blade is the shiny part.
Yeah,
see?
I understand it's the shiny part, but you keep thinking that you're not gonna cut yourself.
Wait till I get it sharp. Are you gonna start? They're waiting on you.
No, they're waiting on you.
You're the one that said you're gonna introduce us.
No, I never said that.
That's what we agreed on.
No, we did not agree on that.
All right. Hey, y'all. Excuse me. Hey, now. I'm Steve. This is Mike, and this is our new YouTube channel. We decided that we were going to put this together because we want to dedicate a channel strictly to hammock camping. Camping, but more specifically hammock camping. And we've also got a website and a blog. And this is our introduction video. The reason I like to go camping so much is to get me outside. I work indoors behind a desk, hunched over a computer all day, and if any of you guys out there are geeks like I am, you know it's just bad on the back. I can't hardly stand up straight because my back hurts so bad, and I'm just in a lot of pain, which is why I sleep in a hammock. It's like sleeping on a cloud, y'all. It's just so comfortable. Any time of the day when you want to get the stress off your back, go lay in a hammock. That's why we sleep in a hammock. There's no pressure points. It's like a cloud. It's so comfortable. I've been camping all my life. Mike and I just recently started camping the past couple of years, but I've been camping all my life. And I guess
you're hogging all the bandwidth.
Huh?
Why don't you let me have a chance here?
I'm gonna tell about my most fondest memory now. Shut up.
Oh. Yeah. You stick me with that, and you just see what happens.
Well, if I stick you with that, we won't be doing a video. We'll be taking you to the emergency room because it's going to cut clean through that little soul of yours.
Yeah, and then you're going to have one right in your back.
Anyhow, my fondest memory was camping with my dad. We traveled from Nebraska down to Germany, and we came, from Nebraska down to Georgia. Germany was earlier. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, man.
He's a Nazi.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Nazi. I'm a good old southern boy from Georgia. We traveled from Nebraska down to Georgia, and we basically camped the whole way. We were in the motorhome. No, we had a camper at the time. And we would travel for a day and camp a couple of nights. Travel for a day and camp a couple of nights. And Daddy would always take me down to the pond because we would always find a KOA with a pond. This was back when KOA was big. I'm not sure if they're still big, but we always did have a pond, and he and I would go fishing. And that's what I remember most. Why do you like to go camping so much?
Why do I like to go camping so much? I like to go camping so much because I grew up in the woods. I am from a little old town in North Georgia. I am a redneck, but so is he. He tries to claim that he's not because he thinks he's some city slicker, but he's down.
I'm not a city slicker. I'm not a city slicker.
He is.
I'm not a redneck.
Don't let him lie to you.
I'm not a redneck and I'm not a city slicker. I'm a good old southern gentleman.
Oh, good old southern gentleman. Just like you told your wife that you hated her hat because it was like mine in
It's
here.
stupid looking.
Oh, yeah, you just keep thinking that.
His hat's ugly, y'all.
You just, yeah, and his knife's old.
Old is better.
Real knife.
No.
Real knife.
Tell them about your fondest memory so we can get going.
My fondest memory of camping would have to be going with my brothers, or with my brother and my nephew. We would always go with a family that we call the Pettits, because that was their last name, obviously. And they always had what they called the Pettit hike, which was about 30 miles in 2 days on some of the worst terrain that you've ever had. But I can tell you what, those guys were in such good shape and hiked
worst terrain, that means there are little bitty pebbles along the footpath with hand railing.
Yeah, anyway, whatever. You keep thinking that. But we used to pack in some of the best eating. I'm telling you, we had some people that could make some good stuff. And if you just look at me, you know I like to eat. And so that's probably one of my fondest memories. Steve, what about that trip we got coming up?
We got a trip coming up soon. We're going to have a lot of good videos on it. We're going to do some gear setup tips. I have what I like to call a no-knot setup. You don't have to untie any knots. You just pull out little tag ends and it just falls apart. But it's very secure and it works great. That's what one of the videos, that type of videos we're going to do on the trip. We're going to go to Springer Mountain. We're going to park at Emma Falls, hike up to Black Gap Shelter. The next morning, hike up to the top of Springer Mountain, over to the backside of Springer Mountain to Springer Mountain Shelter, and then we're going to hike down Saturday to the trucks. So basically, we're going to do a shuttle hike. We are so looking forward to it.
Well, one of the reasons that we're actually doing the hike is because we've got about 3 or 4 guys that have never even touched the Appalachian Trail. I lived in the area of the Appalachian Trail in Georgia, and so I've been on it numerous times. There's a lot of people that haven't been able to actually experience, especially, you know, where the Appalachian Trail starts. So we're going to do the approach trail, which is supposed to be one of the harder times.
It is a historic mountain in Georgia. Springer Mountain is the southern terminus to the Appalachian Trail. And that's why we want to take these guys up there, because it's a historic spot. Okay? Read the information we put on our blog. GAHammockbros.blogspot.com. Mike did an excellent job in doing some research on the history. He wrote a beautiful little article with some pictures on how and where and when the Appalachian Trail came about.
We've also got some other information up there. We introduced ourselves a little bit more in depth on the blog, and we've also got some information on, like he said, the Appalachian Trail. We've got some information on why we like to hammock camp. There's even some information about staying warm. We know that it can be cold outside, you know, but there are ways to stay warm and still stay light.
In fact, wait a minute. We were up on Springer Mountain this same time last year.
He likes to steal my thunder because this is really my story.
Oh.
No, you go right ahead. No, you go right ahead.
No, I'll bow to the ugly hat.
No,
No, you go ahead. I'll shut up.
I'm just glad that you're not sharpening the knife so they don't have to hear wink, wink, wink the whole time. So just tell them the story.
How important is a sharp knife? A dull knife is about the same as an unloaded gun. It's a paperweight.
Yeah, but you sharpen yours nonstop.
It's sharp.
Yeah, it's sharp.
I can cut a fire stick in the heart.
You might be able to.
They're waiting on the story.
No,
they're waiting on the story.
Well, you started it.
You're going to finish it.
No, you go right ahead. You didn't even really start it. You just thought you started it. So go. He thinks he's funny. Anyway, the last time we went up to Springer Mountain, we ended up camping on the top of Springer. We didn't really know exactly what to expect. I've been in the area. I've never been to that actual shelter and that location.
You're from LJ, right? I mean,
yes.
That's real close to where we actually went to church at LJ.
Oh, yeah, it's real close.
And yeah.
So I'd never actually stayed at the shelter on the top of the mountain before. We used to always stay a little bit down from the top of the mountain, obviously because you don't get as much wind, but there's something to be experienced about being on the top of the mountain with the sunrise.
Oh,
but I digress.
It's beautiful. Yeah, we're running out of time.
We ended up running into these guys. We like to call them, or I, coined the phrase "pop and sun." We met these guys on the top, and
save that for another day.
You lose a lot of heat through your back when you're camping. Now, sleeping pad doesn't really matter. We're going to show you in some of our videos how we do stay warm in a hammock. Probably warmer than anybody else is going to stay in a tent or in a shelter or anywhere else for that matter. But yeah, I think it got to about about 20?
All right,
20 degrees ish.
My watch has a thermometer on it. I hung it on the ridgeline of my hammock. My watch said it was 25 degrees inside the hammock. Typically in a tent, you're about 10 degrees warmer. Typically. Now that's not set in stone.
In a tent?
In a tent. And I figured maybe I was about the same. So I estimated it got down to 15 that night. Plus a fog bank rolled in, which all that mist from the fog hit the 15-degree air and froze on the trees. It was beautiful. But I think it got down to about 15 degrees that night.
Probably about right.
We were toasty in our hammocks. I didn't have an underquilt, but we took my rain fly and wrapped it underneath so I could block the wind, and I think that's what really helped. But I was 70 degrees inside my sleeping bag.
And another thing that you'll see in one of our videos from when we actually take the trip, we're going to do a little bit of a video journal and maybe even do a couple little reviews and stuff of some of our gear. You'll see the setups that we're actually going to use, and they incorporate that rainfly, and we also have some pretty interesting underquilts. We both have different concepts on what we think is the best for the underquilt, and we'll be able to see, which one we feel like is more functional, and maybe one of us will switch to the other, or maybe not. We both have watches with thermometers on them, so we'll definitely be doing a little recording and maybe showing you what the temperature is inside the hammock after a while, and then maybe what the temperature is outside. Hopefully we'll be able to get both of those readings.
Yep.
What we want to end this section with is we want to introduce you to one of the favorite pieces of gear that we actually carry, and for me, and he's gonna make fun of me. It
ain't a hat.
I love this hat.
It's not a hat.
This is one of those.
It's not a hat.
Moscow specials is what I call it. It's a hat that they coined in Russia. Obviously because it's very cold in Russia.
Can you coin a hat?
Whatever.
don't think so.
Whatever.
You can coin the term stupid hat. But
Whatever.
I don't think you can coin a hat. You can burn a hat.
Anyway.
Yes,
this
he will be warm.
right here keeps
but
me
he's
warm.
gonna look goofy.
This is what keeps me warm. And if everybody out there, I'd like to take a poll. So if you want to give some comments down below, I'd like to take a poll. Does it matter if you think this hat's ugly if you're going to be nice?
You gotta look
toasty,
good in the
warm?
woods when you're camping.
Not to mention, there are many ways that you can stay warm in this hat.
That hat is so full of fur, if we get chased by a bear, it's going to slow him down because of the wind resistance, and he's going to get eaten. That's all I got to say.
You can have normal. You can clip it up here where it's not blocking your ears. Ta-da! So you know if you get warm, you can let it down. You can let it down if you're cold, and then if you're real cold, clip it under the bottom. It protects the entire chin and even the neck.
If he gets lost, we'll be able to find him because it's bright red.
He's got to carry extra weight.
Not really.
To actually carry his neck gaiter.
On our next video, we're going to weigh my wool cap and neck gaiter and compare the two.
Yeah, and we're also going to weigh both of the packs, and I'm going to show you how mine's lighter than his. A little bet that we made. Anyway, go ahead. Tell them what your favorite piece of equipment is. Not that we don't already know that you've been playing around with it all day.
One of the most important pieces of gear, in my opinion, in anybody's pack is a good knife. With this knife, you can, if it's a big enough knife, and granted, his is a good knife. I'm not knocking K-Bar by no stretch of imagination. I would not knock.
It is the good knife.
I would not knock another man's knife. I have a Mora knife, which we'll compare the two in a different video, and I bought it, and it's just not, it's not big enough for me to chop with. I want to be able to protect myself if that's the case. But with the big enough knife, you can chop, and if it's sharp enough, you can make fire sticks, you can build a shelter with, you can clean your animals with if you're in a situation where you have to survive, you got to go hunt your food or whatever. To me, the most important piece of gear, in my opinion, one of the most important piece is a good knife. Because with this, you can find a way, it can help you build a fire, it can definitely help you build a shelter, it just won't help you boil water, so you
that is if
you
you're
need
not
a
a
container.
city slicker like this guy right here. If you're a city slicker, it ain't nothing but a knife.
I'm not a city slicker. I grew up in South Georgia. Camping, fishing.
This guy calls me a redneck. And listen to
There's a
this.
difference between. We're running out of time. Anyhow, my knife is an old timer. I've had it for many, many years.
Old timer just like him.
It's got a plat. How old are you?
25.
Oh yeah, I'm twice your age.
Yeah. Old
No,
man.
wait, I'm not 50. I'm 46. Wait,
Old man.
I might not even be 46 yet. Where's my wallet? How old am I?
It's the Alzheimer's sitting in there.
I'm only 45. I'm sorry. I'm only 45. I'll be 46 this year.
Anyway.
But anyhow, yes, I'm a little bit older than him. So I've got more experience and I know what a stupid hat looks like. He just hasn't lived long enough to figure it out. Anyhow, we want to thank everybody for watching this long if you've watched. And I appreciate everybody's support. We appreciate everybody's support. I'm actually coming over from another channel, so I may look familiar to you. I don't know. My other channel was Convert 2010. I'm going to be shutting that channel down because Mike and I are building this one together. Please make comments, subscribe to our blog. We'll have the links down below there in the YouTube channel. We're going to have a website that we're building right now. The blog is already up and running. It's going to be dedicated to camping, specific to sleeping in a hammock. And we're going to have some pretty cool videos, tips, tricks, some recipes, because the boy's got to eat on the trail.
Yeah, and he thinks he doesn't.
And we're just going to have a good time with it. It's all about fun, but it's also all about learning and trying to pass along some of that information.
And don't forget,
Plan right and pack light.